Story 1. On to the story. Friend's security system went off, saying someone had showed up at my friend's ranch and tried to get in. When friend got to the gate, there was our star, Karen, haircut, overweight, designer clothes. She stared down her nose at friend and said she had spoken to someone that this was the place for her daughter to take horseback riding lessons. When friend asked her who told her that, she said, the owner of this place, obviously. Now open this gate so I can take my daughter to her lesson. Friend looked her dead in the eye through the gate and said, I'm the owner, I've never spoken to you before, and I don't give lessons. You're confused, now please leave. The woman laughed and said friend was just a crazy old lady who didn't know anything and should go take her mental meds and take a nap after opening the gate for them. Friend stared at her, drill sergeant style, and said firmly, I'm old, not senile. And this is my property. Leave before the police come. She then turned and walks away. The woman screamed at her all kinds of obscenities and threatened to sue the crazy old bat. Friend just kept walking. When she reached the house, she called the police. While she was on the phone with them, one of her foster kids, let's call him Disney, asked if she knew who the weird teen was running across the front of the house. Friend looked outside and saw a teenage girl running from the dogs and up a tree. She was well dressed, like designer everything well dressed, the dogs barking like crazy. Side note, they don't bite but will bark to scare away intruders. Police arrive and arrested the mother and daughter for trespassing. The mother screamed the same entitled Karen crazy as she had at the gate, but had now changed her story to the owner of the property had promised her daughter a horse and lessons. No one listened and they were hauled off. Cut to a week later and my friend received a notice in the mail that the mother was suing her and demanding all her dangerous and disgusting animals be taken away and put down. At the courthouse, friend showed the judge the security footage from the house, gate and stable, with audio in 4K, of these idiots screaming, cursing, trying to squeeze through the gate before smashing the gate control call box on the outside and then trying to steal one of friend's horses and put the animal into their smallest minivan. The horse in question they trying to take was a draft horse, Shire Clydesdale mix. There ain't no way in hell that he was fitting in that car. Judge looked at the mother and asked, are you psychotic? You pay their, i.e. friend, lawyer and fees, as well as jail time for property damage, which you will pay for, and animal endangerment charges. EM could only stammer, but the dogs attacked my daughter. Judge turned to friend and asked if her dogs had ever bitten anyone ever. No, sir. They bark and that's about it. They will go after a bear or mountain lion, but not a human. Judge shrugged. In total, I think EM had to pay a little over $60,000, plus late fees and fines cause she didn't pay the first time and got hauled back to court and pay up. Some people, man, I swear. Story 2. Bridal party's failure to plan was somehow my fault. I had a part-time job doing valet parking at an upscale hotel adjacent to an event center. If there was something scheduled at the event center, we'd staff accordingly, but usually we only had 2 people on. We'd tell incoming guests that if they needed to leave at a specific time to let us know or call down to the front desk ahead of time. If we knew a bunch of guests would be leaving at the same time, we'd start bringing their cars up early so they'd be good to go when the time came. I was working the morning shift one Saturday along with a guy in his 70s. He was a solid worker, but he couldn't run. I have an artificial hip and a bunch of pins and screws in the same leg. I can run, but I can't keep it up for long, and I pay for it later. We used the parking garage for the event center, which was close to a block away, and because of one-way streets it was a 4-block drive, with stoplights, to bring a car back up. There was a large group of people who were in town for a wedding. They had about 20 cars among them. They just started showing up pretty much all at once right when they needed to leave. Most of them realized that they had fucked up, but there was one entitled family that held us responsible. They just would not shut up, and it got worse and worse. The mom didn't say anything, but the dad and his 2 teenage daughters started out nasty and got worse and worse. That turned out to be my last day as a valet, because I snapped. I told them that it wasn't my fault, they were too stupid to let us know they'd need all their cars ready at 8 in the morning, but we were doing our best to fix their fuck-up. I said there were only 2 of us, and neither of us was an athlete or stunt driver, and that if we had the kind of power over space and time it would take to bring all those cars up with no advance notice, we wouldn't be there taking his shit. All 3 of them started yelling again when I ended my rant. I said, "All right, I've had enough. I quit." I turned to the other people waiting and said, "Now it's going to take twice as long because these assholes don't know when to shut up." I turned back to the dad and said, "I feel like I'm doing your daughters a disservice by not punching you in the mouth, but I know you'd be a little bitch and press charges." Story 3. Husband buys coffee machine. Upset that he has to use it. My husband loves coffee. He is the only one in the house who drinks it. Tea/coffee gives me acidity and insomnia, so I don't drink. Recently, he bought a fancy machine that makes delicious coffee. The only problem is that the coffee trickles down drop by drop. It takes around 4 to 5 minutes to fill a tumbler but can feel like forever if you have nothing else to do but stand there and watch it trickle down. I get the coffee machine going every morning while getting dear daughter, Dee, ready for school and making her breakfast. When he comes down after getting ready, his tumbler is ready to go. He leaves, then I take Dee to school, come back, and work from home. So recently, I had an injury that left me bedridden. Luckily, it was Dee's midterm break, so there was no pressure of getting up early to prepare her meal and taking her to school. Only thing left was the coffee. Husband says, "No problem, I will make it myself." Day 1, 2, 3, he makes the coffee. Also cleans the machine after every use. Day 4, this is too much and wasting my time. Me, why don't you switch on the machine tomorrow and get back upstairs to get ready? We live in a duplex, bedroom and dressing room upstairs, kitchen and living room downstairs. Also, he has stopped cleaning the machine. Day 5, he is upset because he had to run up and down twice to tend to his coffee. My next suggestion, move your toiletries to the downstairs washroom for a few days so you can get ready there. I'm not comfortable with that. Well, now the only solution left is to wake up early. Day 6, 7, 8, he wakes up early to make his coffee. He no longer cleans the machine. Day 8 evening, I'm very tired. My sleep cycle is whacked, me, looks like you need to make more coffee. LOL. Day 9, he is now side-eyeing me and guilt-tripping, hoping I would crawl down the stairs to make his coffee. Not happening. So he calls up the maid and tells her to start coming early to make his coffee. She is a part-time helper, and there's no way she'll come this early. Day 10, he has given up. Now he is buying his coffee from outside, and the machine remains unused. Story 4. This is a pizzeria. Not a car dealership. Part 15 brings us to food and vehicles. So I decided one day after work that I would get a pizza that I was craving for a few weeks. I order and wait for it. I'm getting it to go. I sit outside because it was a nice day and I was looking at the nice cars at the dealership across the street. What can go wrong? Douche Canoe was at the car dealership. Okay. Sure. So I'm just sitting there waiting when he comes over. Looks at the establishment, looks at me, looks at the establishment again. Few people coming and going for food or picking up what they ordered. Douche Canoe walks away. I figured maybe he was curious and might want to try the place sometime. Nope. I go inside the pizza place because the time I was told my order would be ready is getting close. I noticed the woman that takes calls was actually arguing on the phone with someone. I chalked it to a person probably complaining about their order or having to wait or whatever. But I soon realized she's explaining the place is a pizzeria and not a car dealership. Maybe they had the wrong number and meant to call the dealership but messed up. Nope. I'm wrong again. Douche Canoe actually comes inside and explains that he overpaid for a new car and wants money back. The woman says again, it's a pizza place and dealership is across the street. Douche Canoe has none of it and wants the manager. Wants compensation, wants money back. The manager explained he's not entitled to get money back from a pizza place because he got a car across the street. The look on his face. The manager said look around. He finally did. Flew out of there fast. I decided to return a few days later to try the spaghetti. I figured why not? Guess who? He comes in again demanding some compensation for a car he got and wants money back. After arguing about it for what seems like 10 minutes, the manager again explained this is a pizzeria. Not a dealership. Since he won't take no for an answer, the manager goes outside to show him. Shows the sign. Shows the dealership across the street, shows their sign. I go back 2 weeks later to try the chicken tenders. Third time has to be the charm. Well again clown returns. As soon as he saw the manager, he left immediately. Hello, how may I take your order? Yeah, I was overcharged for this car. We sell food here, sir. Manager being Squidward and DC being the guy ordering something crazy. Douche Canoe and his entitled ideas for whatever reason still believe in a refund. Because he stayed outside. Complaining. On the phone. At a pizza place. For a car. Manager called the dealership about Douche Canoe and someone came over to talk to Douche Canoe. Douche Canoe explained he was overcharged. When it came time to answer questions about the car, he couldn't. And he stormed off pissed. So he tried to get money out of the pizza place for a car he probably didn't buy. My sister bought a car at the dealership. Nice car, she wasn't overcharged. We didn't go in the pizza place to complain either. Though, I did think about it.